The senior writer for The Athletic, Chris Vanini, has done a story on UCF, University of Central Florida, how in the spring game, the players' jerseys that they are wearing, instead of a number on the back, will have a QR code. No number, a QR code.
I'm looking at it right now. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Worse than this hat?
It's worse than the hat.
Yeah.
Although the hat kind of looks like a QR code right now.
This is, so look.
That's awful.
A QR code on the back of the player's jersey. The link goes to their school bio, their social media, etc. So QR codes also go to player merch that stores have and charities that are part of their NIL embrace. So if you scan the QR code, and the player they use, ironically, is a former Big Ten player, as an example.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that's a fan of Michigan State and remembered playing Northwestern might remember Northwestern's running back, Isaiah Bowser, who's now at UCF. They have an example how when you scan the QR code on the back of the UCF's player jersey, you will see their bio, any merch you can buy, any NIL deals that they have. And look, we have entered into things are afoot. Things are changing dramatically in college athletics where they are trying to be as player-friendly as they can possibly be and help the players market themselves and make money. Now, schools have limitations by rule on what they're allowed to do. I don't know that those rules are being followed, nor do I think they're being enforced. But there are rules. Schools can't run their NIL campaign, but they can bring attention to, Gator's raising his hand, they can bring attention to it with this QR code on the back of a jersey. Yes, Gator.
So as a fan in the stands, how am I supposed to scan that?
I have no idea. When they're on the sideline, hold your phone up to it. But, I mean, if you're sitting in the upper deck.
I don't understand. This is the dumbest idea ever. I get that you want to be able to link stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe it sounds like this. I hope this QR scanning thing, that's all the rage these days. I hope this dies out quickly.
The QR codes?
I hate it. Yeah, QR codes. I hate it.
I don't hate it, but I do find it hilarious when you're like watching a game and there's a QR code up on the screen for 4 seconds. And I'm like, I got to get my phone out. Right. I got to log on. I got to open up the camera. I got to hold. Like, I don't have time. I'm not going to stop and rewind.
Nobody wants to take the extra step like that. Like these commercials now, they're just a QR code.
Yeah.
Okay, guess what I'm not doing? Getting my phone out to scan it to see what the hell you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's a commercial, it's already hard enough to hold your interest. If you're going to say, now I have to go through another step to find out what your commercial is, good luck with that. You're going to do this on a jersey instead of having the number?
Instead of a number, a QR code on the back of the UCF spring football jerseys. But here's the problem, Gator. If you're a player and this brings more hits to the website where you sell your merch for NIL, what do you want on the back of your jersey? A number or the QR code that links to your page?
I would hope that their own page on the website for each athletic program, when you go, let's look at Isaiah Bowser, click on Isaiah Bowser, and then it has his bio information. I would hope that's where you do it. On a jersey, I just think this is it seems stupid. Like, I get that they want to, and I understand what you're saying. Would a player just wants hits for the NIL? Of course, they're going to want that because they can make more money at it. But I don't know. Are they going to be able to make more money off of that to have people go through the extra step, or is it easier to have their number out there and a fan just remembers the number? I can't remember a QR code, But I can remember a number.
So the number will
55. Let me check out who's number 55 on UCF, and then you go down the list. Oh, here it is.
The number will still be on the front of the jersey. The back will have the QR code. I'm gonna say this.
You're gonna duck for cover?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. There's no way this catches on, right? I'm not sure this is a statement or a question. Because let's face it here, Gator. We're not old. We are not old.
No.
But we are in an aging demographic. If the recruits want this, if the young people think that this is what they want,
Then give it to them.
then we're effed.
Yeah.
Then this is going to happen. There's no way, right?
I can't see this
There's
sticking.
no way, right?
I can't imagine. I can't, like, tomorrow Michigan State has their spring game. More of a practice than it is a game. And they've got a ton of recruits on campus for the huge weekend, huge recruiting weekend for Michigan State. Are QR codes a thing? Like, does this have legs? Is Michigan State going to do something like this? Is this something where every university in the country sees something like this come out and like, okay, well, wait a minute, we need to think that. Were we working on this? Because we got a QR code system ready to go?
Because there's two things about this. So much is about recruiting. And recruiting right now includes the NIL element.
Yeah.
And if the NIL element, if this puts UCF on the map because they replace the numbers on the back of the jerseys with QR codes, giant, ugly QR codes. Now, I'll say this. If I go and it links to Isaiah Bowser's page, who's now at UCF, and Isaiah Bowser has an Isaiah Bowser jersey for sale where Isaiah Bowser gets to pocket it, do I want a jersey with the number 5 and a QR code on the back?
Hell no.
There's no way this catches on, right? No way. 0.0% chance, right? Right? Somebody younger than 25, tell me there's no way. Somebody whose kid is a college recruit, tell me your kid doesn't want this. There's no way, right? None.
How do you feel about QR codes?
They're fine. I use them a lot more than I used to. I do think it's funny when they flash them on the screen for 4 seconds, and I'm like, what? You want me to get my phone out and scan that?
Do you use the QR code when it comes to a TV, or is it just something else?
It's restaurants.
It's restaurants for
all
menus.
the time.
Yeah.
But I find, I mean,
That's
I've used
about
it for
right?
more than that. I'm trying to think of what else I've used them for. But yes, I don't have a problem with them until now. Now I've got a problem with them.
Was this even thought of as being a phenomenon if it wasn't for COVID? And we needed to find some ways to,
Yeah, I mean, they've been around for a while.
Printing out the menus.
They were pre-COVID, but it seems like COVID is where I started to use them more. I don't want to say because I used them more, that's when they took off. But that's when they took off for me as far as my behavior.
I think they've taken off during COVID, yeah. And I think it starts with the restaurants, and then people realize, wait a minute, we can use this for other things too. Is it a good thing or not? Like a moving object, and then you have to scan it with it. I mean, that seems that doesn't make sense.
If your question is this a good thing or not, my answer is this is the worst thing ever.
I don't like it in this regard. I like it in, like if I'm at Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or whatever, right? And you're looking for an object and it says scan a QR code and learn more. Okay, fair enough. That's great because you're not going to have the manual sitting out there for finding, why this, this frame for a 30-pound frame holder is going to work. Let me scan the QR code and see what we have. That makes sense to me. But for a jersey,
QR
so
code
I can
on the
scan
back.
it. I understand what they're trying to do. I just wish there was a better way than screwing up the back of a jersey to do it.
Nobody's going to want to buy a jersey. I shouldn't say nobody. Don't project your own feelings on others, Doug. I find it hard to believe that anybody will want to purchase a jersey where instead of a number on the back, it's a giant QR code.